Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing the Hourly Bullet Arena tournament on lichess. So I played one of these yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. So I've got some time right now, so I'm going to play another one. And this is the current list of players. I see that they tend to fill up pretty much towards the end of registration time, typical chess tournament. And we have Tawny, as our first opponent. Okay. So yesterday I used the Berserk button once in the tournament, and it wasn't really necessary because I was leading the tournament by a pretty wide margin. So I'm going to go with the same strategy today. I'm not going to use it unless absolutely necessary. Tony Rotella, Tony Rowe, longtime subscriber and friend of mine, is in the tournament, so this should be fun. He's got a higher bullet rating than I do. Tony, I'm going to take your points, man. Watch out. Probably queen c1 should be played here. Otherwise, the b2 pawn is in jeopardy. I'll go h6, just so if knight h4, I can drop the bishop back to h7. Yeah, you can do that. b3 is a good move to undermine. Now I want to x-ray his queen on c1. There's no overt threat, but it makes his queen feel uncomfortable, I think. Okay, let's just go a6. This guy's playing a very reasonable game so far. I'll probably play knight e4 soon. He can maybe play c5. If he does, I might drop my queen all the way back to d8. I'm not sure it's doing a whole lot on the queen side anymore. I may play knight b4 if I get a chance. Let's just do this first, though. Okay, he jumps in. I think bishop f6 is fine. He preserves the dark square bishop. I would like to play for e5 if possible. Maybe I'll try to bother him with the exchange of the dark square bishops. His time is really poor. So let's just do this and play for checkmate in view of his very low time. Yeah, he has 5 seconds left. I mean, objectively, it doesn't really matter what we do as long as we flag him. Okay, back to tournament. So I won that first game, and we're waiting for our next opponent. We are the only game done, so it'll pair us immediately upon the next game finishing. Oh, Anton squared me. Also know that guy. Okay, let's play knight f3 against El Granatia. Plays e5, an unorthodox gambit. Not advisable either. Looks like he's pre-moving. He's trying to bring his knight to h7. I'll go e5, just so his bishop can't come out to f5 in one fell swoop. Let's go here, so if he takes, I have d5. He fell into it. Okay, we'll take this. Pre-move that. I'm attacking b7. That pawn on e6 is very nice, too. I think I can use that to my advantage. At least it'll make it difficult for him to ever recover the pawn. I guess I am letting him take. He went back for some reason. Let's take here. We'll grab on d6 too. I can go here and threaten mate. He can play bishop f6, but I have queen e2. And he does not want to exchange dark square bishops. If he does that, he's in trouble. I'll bring my rook into d7. It's pretty irresistible on this post. And now since he's offering the trade, I'll take him up on that. Yeah, I think now just take and then e7 is good. Bring our queen into e5. And this is decisive. If he takes on e7 with the rook, I'll take his queen. Okay, so he does this. Now I'm queening. And I did make sure to put auto queen on. I didn't want to run into any situations in bullet where I wasn't able to queen. So auto queen is on for me. That can cost you valuable tempos in bullet. Anton squared me is choosing a very unorthodox opening. He might be messing with me. It's hard to tell. I'm playing for checkmate, Anton squared. He has one move now, king f1. I can pre-move this. It's safe to do so. Oh, he went berserk mode too. Wow, Anton squared me. That's a bold move, sir. I didn't know you felt so little about my chess game that you were going to go berserk on me this early in the tournament. You know what, Anton squared? Just because you're a good sport, I'm gonna take your rook. and give you the satisfaction of having a material advantage. I won't even take your queen. It's not necessary. That was fun. He's trying to rattle me. He was trying to rattle me with the berserk mode plus the H and the G pawn pushes. So now I'm in double point territory. I have 8 points. Tony, I might get paired against him soon. I think he just finished a game. All right, not yet. I'm not sure how the pairing algorithm works. I don't think I've ever actually played Tony in anything other than a standard game. There's one standard game that we played on my channel. Okay, so if he... Okay. Usually they take on d4, but he didn't want to do that. I'm going to try to get my knight into f5. It's well positioned here. If he plays g6, I'll probably take and then play bishop g5. Because it's hard for him to break this pin. If he goes king g7, I have queen d2, and I'm kind of threatening bishop h6 check. So what should he do? Rook h8 maybe? There's not a whole lot of other good moves. I can play bishop h6. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just go for the material. Quick decisions. Then f4, open it up. I was a little hesitant to take his exchange because my dark square bishop was so strong. f5 is not a good idea for him. He doesn't want to mess with me in an open position. I have the 2 rooks, so I am just fiending for open files. Yeah, and he's giving stuff up. Now I'll probably play knight e4 next move. Threatening knight takes d6 check, and then I win his knight on e5. I can't quite play it. Let's just guard this pawn. Bring our queen to e3 where it can invade. Give a check here. Let's go queen here. Attack h7. Okay, that's a pawn. We'll go here and threaten queen f7 mate. That's a checkmate. Okay, back to tournament. I have 12 points. Tony also is trailing a little bit, but he's hot on my heels. Next game, Frankie J. I wonder if this is the guy I know. I know a Frankie J. I'm sorry if I keep saying like I know everyone. It's just like you run into the same usernames and people all the time when you're playing chess online. So I've been playing chess online for quite a while. So you tend to, you know, kind of get used to people after a while and recognize their names. Go here and threaten his bishop. I'm up a solid pawn right now. Absolutely no complaints. Maybe f4 and e5 is a good strategy. Looks good enough, so let's do it. First, let's go here. And if he brings the knight to c5, I have some tactics like knight takes c6, for instance. Let's take, then go g4. He can go and attack my bishop, but overall, this should be fine for me. Let's offer a trade. We'll take that guy. Controlling a lot of the squares that he can invade in. Let's do this. Maybe bishop g4. We'll see if he'll swap. Let's go king c2. Hard for him to play. Let's go f5. Not sure about this decision because he has bishop takes d4. He didn't do it though. Let's go here. That's probably not a good idea by me. My pawn is kind of nice on this square though, so I do like that. Okay, let's do this. Guard some stuff. Bring this in. I am attacking his bishop. And I give this check. His knight is kind of dominated right now. Okay, I can take that. Yeah, he's got trouble now. f7's coming. And checkmate. That was a close game, though. It was a very close game. Could be useful points, because I think, yeah, this is a new account. I think I know who that is. If I'm thinking who it is, it's a national master from Minnesota. His name is Frank. And he goes by Frankie J on ICC. Okay, let's take. And if queen takes, I'll play. Well, queen takes, I was going to play knight c3. Now we're just winning everything. This is a massacre. Okay, let's get the queens off. Might as well. I could play knight takes f7, but I'll still have it now. I don't feel the urge to go berserk quite yet. This is an opponent I probably could get away with berserk mode against in retrospect, but you got to hit it right at the beginning of the game, so I wasn't quite ready for that. Attack his rook. Let's just pre-move that. Okay, now I can put the bishop on e6 and then mate him immediately. He doesn't allow that, though. Let's pre-move some stuff. Let's checkmate. Back to tournament. So we have a 7-point lead. I'm playing sub-teacher now. He's not quite a regular teacher. He's a sub-teacher. Okay, let's go here. The pawn looks kind of ridiculous on f3, so I don't mind not capturing on e4. Let's go h5 and try to like mix this up. Oh, come on. He wouldn't let me advance against his king side. Go bishop e6. I think we're playing pretty sensible moves right now. We'll castle king or queen side too. I'm curious if he'll castle queen side. He does not. So we have an opposite side castling affair. Let's go d4. I want to go g5. I have a feeling he might make it difficult for me to achieve that though. Let's take now. Ooh, I can almost play bishop h3. That move is just nearly winning outright. Okay, this is hanging. I'll take that piece. Let's go here and then take on d3 next move. Yeah, you can't play rook b1. That's a nice point. That move is not going to work. We'll trade queens with him. And he resigns. Back to tournament. 8-point lead on the field. Still haven't played Tony, though. That could be a pivotal matchup because if he wins 4 points on a double against me and I don't get any points, then the margin is getting smaller. So at some point I will be paired against him. We have 15 players playing, not as many as the tournament I played yesterday. I'm playing this about 9 o'clock at night US time, so this is probably mostly US players. European players are fast asleep, or they should be. I like this feature down here where it shows all the other games in progress. That's a nice one. Really like that. As far as I can tell, nobody has got a double on a berserk yet. Frankie J did go berserk one time, but he hadn't doubled on it. All right, Scandi time against M. Newman. They decline the Scandinavian pawn. They get afraid of the Scandinavian pawn sometimes. And they push past. Now we have a French-like position. I'll maneuver my knight to the queen side. And queen b6 to put pressure on d4 and also b2. I'm able to castle now pretty easily. I could take on b2. Let's do it. I don't think there's too many negative repercussions from this. I mean, I lose my dark square bishop, but that should be okay. Huh. That's an interesting move. I kind of like that move for him. His pawn was weak anyway, so maybe he figures, like, might as well jettison it, try to get some play. Let's go h6, just kick his bishop out of there. And we'll attack this pawn. He can go h5, though. Luckily for me, he didn't do that. Now I'm up 2 pawns. Maybe have some small development issues. I want to go knight b6 next move. Yeah, let's do knight b6. Maybe I can work into c4. Knight e7 doesn't do anything because I can just take and I get 2 minors. And then I can follow with knight c4 next. I'm threatening knight d2. I'm also threatening his pawn on e5. He saw both of those threats, or he dealt with both those threats. And that's a big blunder. So now we can get material off the board. Just drop this bishop back. E5 remains weak. Too little too late for M. Newman. So I'm at 28 points. A showdown with Tony Rowe is inevitable. I played 2 more games than him, though. So the speed aspect of my wins is helping. So no slowing down now. Let's go E3. I like this line against the Slav. I don't like playing A4, as you're supposed to do. I only like playing A4 after they've gone B5. That's an interesting reply. Let's go knight E5 against that. So that if he plays F6, I have queen H5, which is pretty devastating. I think you should play bishop B7 to guard C6, because he'd like to play knight D7, but knight D7 runs into knight takes C6. So he can't quite do that right away. He's using a lot of time. Probably can't get away with that sort of time usage in a bullet game. You know, even if he does manage to get out of this bind, he's going to find himself woefully behind on the clock. Pretty much has to play F6 soon. Some combination of F6 and, or maybe now E6 just to develop. I thought he might do that, but now I'm going to be able to trade rooks and maybe get in my queen to the B8 square. I'm just going to take here. We're probably looking at swapping queens. Okay. Return. M. Newman again. Let's go Sicilian this time. So we just gave him a look at the Scandinavian. Now it's time for the Sicilian. And a lot of times online you encounter bishop c4 variations. For whatever reason, they're just extremely popular. I think people feel like they can play bishop c4 in e4, e5 openings, so why not against a Sicilian too? I mean, it's a somewhat logical line of thought, but against a Sicilian, it's not advised for exactly the reason that happened in this game. Black can achieve a quick d5 is the reason. If he plays knight g3, I was thinking about taking and installing a knight on e4. I'll go back here because knight f5 is a bother. I'm still okay. I just got to push his pieces back a little bit. Just push them back. Let's maybe go a5. Though queen f3. He's retreating though. He's not quite sure how to handle my initiative on the queen side. Let's just go queen e6, I suppose. I'm a little worried about my king, mildly. Let's just trade some stuff, since I do have some king issues. You can play queen h6, but that's largely fine, I think. Because as long as this knight stays here, I'm not going to get mated. So, meanwhile, let's just take stuff. I'm just taking stuff. He has a check, but I can go knight f8. Yeah, and let's just go here. I'm just trying to control his knight because I don't want his queen and knight to coordinate. It was a little bit dicey. With more time, he might have been able to whip something up there. Okay, showdown is looming with Tony. When's it going to happen? I still have like a 2-point or a 2-game lead on him, I should say. 10 minutes remaining. Who's he playing right now? I have Jovi. Playing the Scandinavian a lot. I just can't help myself. It's like my go-to bullet opening. You guys know this. I feel so comfortable in it. Fianchetto the bishop. He hasn't taken the liberty to occupy the center with his pawns, so I'm happy to take over that duty. Let's go here. Maybe e3 to come. Now I can go knight e3. If he goes queen e1, maybe I have knight c2 and go win the rook in the corner. Not even take this rook on f1. Okay, that's a queen. And that's a knight. Take this. So this is going to be a quick win. Now I'm threatening mate on g2. We will take those quick wins. Devastitur. The Grob. AKA the Spike. Let's go, oh, I don't know. Let's go knight f6. And if g5, I'll play knight e4. We're up a clear pawn. Ooh, now I can do this, and knight e4 is a huge threat. If queen d3, knight takes c3, he's walked right into the line of fire of my bishop on f5. So he should probably play knight takes e4 in this position. Let's do it this way just to be safe. If I had taken with the knight first, maybe a3, although I actually could have won his queen if that had happened. But at any rate, we're up a piece. If he moves his king, I have queen d2. That's a checkmate. Star Thanatos, 2076. Okay, so this guy I have to be careful against. I'll play the Exchange King's Indian. Another bullet favorite of mine. c6 is the main move here, and I like this bishop c4 variation. If bishop b7, I had this recently too, actually. The game on ICC. Huh, you're just going to let me go and take this, huh? A little surprised by that. Okay, let's go bishop here, just to control the movement of his knight. I don't want knight c5 to happen. I'd prefer to avoid that. Now I'm threatening knight takes c4, maybe. I can bring this in. That's a safe pawn to take. And let's invade with the rook. He has a check here, but this is fine. If I get my rooks coordinated, he's in massive trouble. Because now I can nearly just, I don't know, take on gotta watch that pawn a little bit though. I'll do this. Okay, I'm gonna win his pawn now. Let's go here. Bishop, okay, I can take this. I'm trying to be wary of his knight, like that. That's what I was worried about. Okay, now I gotta try to win this game again. This is not too good though. Yeah, you get some activity now. Let's go here. Okay. Let's go bishop b6. Try to restrict his king. Way down on time. Oops, that was a blunder. Trying to come in here with my king. Pretty much have to pre-move now. But I don't think it's going to work too well. Okay, let's just, oh no, take it, take it. Oh, I lost a game. My win streak on lichess is over. And it killed my doubling streak. Star Thanatos, you killed me. All right, I gotta take revenge. I mean, I couldn't have expected to walk through 2 tournaments undefeated. Although that game was egregious. I should have won that game so many times. So many times over. Now we have the exact same line against Frankie J. See what he cooks up against us. Yeah, knight d7 is a good move. Let's castle. I'm going to let him take my bishop on b3 if he wants. Let's go h3 now. Because I think my pawn is actually kind of useful here. It doesn't seem that way, but it kind of is. Okay, if he goes b5, I have the knight coming in here. And he can't double, and I can win this pawn next move. So now I can go rook c1 next move, maybe. Now I can do this check and win his f5 pawn. Let's go here. I have that. He has to try to whip up some sort of checkmate. Let's go here. I think I can try to bring my other rook over. Then we just swap everything on g7. e3 is practically his only try now. Okay, back to tournament. Well, with that loss, I'm still doing okay, but that hurt against Star Thanatos. My very poor technique. Pio Zinho is our current opponent. Let's play bishop f5. I can get away with this. We'll play rook c8 and e6. You can go knight e5, but we do have this move. Now we castle. Maybe bishop takes h2 is interesting. Oh, but he trapped his own queen. Yeah, we got his queen caught in this crossfire, so he sacks it. Okay, trades are good for us. Let's take here if he captures. And he resigned. Okay, El Capitan is the next opponent. c6 wasn't a particularly good move. I usually prefer to play c5. But now he's handing us this nice outpost. He's pushing a lot of pawns. I sort of want to open up the center. Now let's just play bishop f5. Okay, we'll go back. g4 should be a weakening move. Let's go f6. He's advancing against our king side. That's okay. I don't think my bishop will get buried here. I really don't. See if he'll take on f5. He might not. I'll play bishop g6 and then I'll go for f5. He might be planning queen g4 check. Okay, we'll just block with our bishop. And still f5 is a good liberating move. With his queen side and all of his other pieces underdeveloped, he's not getting too much. Let's capture. And then maybe play for f4 next move, depending upon which pawn he captures with. Okay, we'll do this. He has bishop g5, but rook a e8, all my pieces are participating. It's not enough trouble for my king. All right. So after that bump in the road, we're back to the doubling. How much time is left? There's only a minute left in the tournament. Okay. So the tournament will probably end upon conclusion of this game. Let's just put our rooks in good places. He's probably going to be playing for c5 soon. I'll make that trade. Let's go e4. We have a nice space advantage. Let's go here, and then after knight d5, I think I'll try to install a knight on d6. Let's go g3. He's kind of angling for that f4 square. He really wants that. Rook c1 looks good. And we'll jump in. I'm thinking bishop back to d3 to attack this guy. And if knight e7, maybe queen e4. With a pretty non-subtle threat. Can I take? I can take. And I take here. Didn't have to go knight f7 right away. Could have played knight f7 on the previous move, but I think this is even stronger. That f7 square and also the g6 square. Like one threat I have now is queen takes e7, queen takes e7, knight g6. It's devastating. Okay, back to tournament, and it's over. All right, so we won by a margin of 10, and we never played Tony, strangely enough. He also lost a game towards the end, but never got to play him. You can see the advantage of winning quickly because I played, what, 3 more games than he did? He was in second place. Yeah, Star Thanatos was just a little too inconsistent. He did beat me in that game, though. So, I'll just tell everyone thanks. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really like these. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with another bullet video. Talk to you guys later. Bye.